I'm Stefan Schmidt. I'm the founder of the Indie Hub. The Indie Hub is resources for indie developers who come together. We are a great community with over 1,000 in Germany right now. They love to connect, and yeah, one here, that would be great. So, oh yeah, great. We have a great community. We want over 1,000 developers. They can connect with us. They can ask us questions. And we have a great showcase called Indie Game Fest. But it's not about a presentation about my company. It's way more recruiting and nurturing new talents. So that's welcome. Silvia, and from Wooga Games. Hello, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you, Stefan. So I have to apologize first of all because I have a cough. And it's nothing serious, I went to a doctor even, but I might cough every now and then. Don't worry about it, I'm not contagious. But hi everyone, I'm Silvia. I'm a talent acquisition manager at Wooga. I've been working in the gaming industry since 2019, before I actually worked with Alina at Kolibri Games, so it's fun to see her again here. I focus my job on hiring, especially for creative roles, in particular artists, but also for the marketing department. And I also help with employer branding topics, and I have a strong focus on diversity and inclusion. So this actually panel is quite interesting for me. Yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much. So you mentioned Alina already, so let's bring the ball over there. Alina, welcome.
Thank you so much for, oh, that's so loud, for having us and for organizing this event. I'm Alina. I originally come from Romania. And I don't know about you, but whenever somebody asks me to introduce myself, I always start questioning who am I. I am working in talent acquisition for over 5 years now in different industries, but I've been with Kolibri Games for the past 2.5 years. And I focus on, well, pretty much all the roles that we have. And yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Welcome. So Alexander, you're next. Please introduce yourself.
All right, yeah. Hey, I'm Alexander Krug. I'm one of the founders of SOFTGAMES. We are in the industry since a very long time, 2006, so very long time actually. We are an instant games developer. That basically means we develop games which can be played without download or installation directly on Facebook.com or within the Facebook app or in the browser basically. We are 100 people based here in Berlin, but a fully remote company, and I'm also very happy to be here to share our insights, how we basically find new talent. Keep them.
Thank you. And Diana, welcome on stage. Thanks for stepping in and introduce yourself as well.
Hi, I'm Diana. I work in games since 2013 in different roles, positions, from localization, community management. I somehow stumbled into design and production, and also have done some recruiting. And yeah, I did have 2 talks at GDC about that. In forms of a panelist, so maybe I can remember some of that stuff and tell you.
So welcome. So Silvia, Wooga is a really big company. You have over 100 employees, at least it's recorded on your website. On your website also you have 6 live games at the moment. Probably it won't be 6, so you have a few in development. So this is really a beast to tackle on its own, to run a big company like that, to have so many live games. But what is important for your company as such a major player in the gaming industry when hiring new talent? What are you looking for?
Yeah, thank you, Stefan. It's actually a very good question. And of course, it always depends on the position, the seniority, and the department, as you can imagine. But we have quite a strong focus at Wooga when it comes to the soft skills side, let's say. So what people can bring to the table that can help us being a strong culture and craft, I would say, and contribute to our values in general. That's something that is very important. This doesn't mean that we underestimate hard skills, of course, those are also quite important. However, I would say that we are quite flexible about them, and we welcome people from different backgrounds. Actually, we even have a disclaimer in our job descriptions encouraging applications from people that are coming from backgrounds we didn't even think about, let's say. We hired, for instance, game analysts or game writers that didn't even have experience in the gaming industry. And again, I mentioned before that I'm quite interested in diversity and inclusion, and for us, having that kind of diversity of mindsets and backgrounds is very important to build our games, because we can ultimately, I would say, build an experience that is diverse for our players, where they can all feel included and represented. So a good balance between the soft skills and the hard skills, I would say.
Thank you for the answer. And Alina, bring the ball back to you. Kolibri game, it's roughly the same numbers. And you're around, okay, 2016, it's not that long, but in our industry you could say, yeah, it's a while. And since February, you're now with Ubisoft. So this is probably a shift of its own when it comes to recruiting and whatnot. But how do you identify your talents, or what are you doing to find these young people to bring it into your company?
Very good question, and thank you so much. One quick mention, we've been with part of Ubisoft since 2020, but this did not affect us. We are still an independent studio, so we have the independency of creating the games that we want to do. We follow our own processes, so Ubisoft hasn't impacted us that much, although it's I've seen candidates being super hyped about our collaboration. But when it comes to identifying and attracting talent in this industry, well, we know that gaming industry is a niche industry. And I think Silvia knows very well, like I do, that we're talking about a smaller pool of candidates compared to all the other industries. So my personal advice would be, in order to identify what is the right talent for your company, to actually create a candidate persona. So as you said, know exactly what you're looking for, and not just when it comes to job title or seniority level. Go beyond that. So let's say we're talking about hiring a game developer. Okay, what engine do they need to use? Do they need to have experience in games? Is it relevant? If so, what kind of games? Because that also is a major factor. Also, maybe experience with smaller or larger teams, and so on and so forth. And once you have identified this, then comes the attract part. So here is also where us as recruiters, we bring our magic. And basically from our initial call with the candidates, we can already know exactly what they're looking for. So it might be that they're looking for better compensation, or career growth, or maybe a new interesting project. We take this information, we make sure that everybody's informed, and then we ensure that during the recruitment process, aside from assessing their skills, and ensuring that they match our candidate persona, we also ensure the candidate that we can offer what they're actually looking for. And yeah, basically listen to what they are looking for, and also be transparent with what you can offer as a company.
So it's really good to hear that you can keep your independency when even the big one pick you up or collaborate with you. That's really, really great to hear. Welcome, Alexander. Great to see you. SOFTGAMES around since 2006. So you really see everything in our industry. Probably you built the industry.
I feel old now, thanks.
Welcome to my world. Okay. Thanks for reminding me. No, but your company is really a veteran in this industry. So, for to say, but a lot of things has been changed even a few last years. So, the big topic remote work. So I have a question for you in this regard. How does this affect your hiring criteria? You look now for different people, if you look for someone who wants to work for you remotely, and what are you prioritize? What are the skill sets? What do I need to work in your company for to say as a remote worker?
Yeah, I think like the Corona pandemic changed everything. Let's say like this. I mean, like before, we always require people that they either are already located in Germany or in Berlin specifically, or they are able to relocate due to their education and these kind of things. But basically, since then, that's March 2020, we realized that the market is not that small actually from the available talents. I think it's huge because it's basically the whole world, and the gaming industry is it is a huge industry. I have to say, like tens of thousands of people who are basically active and working, and remote basically helped everybody, the smaller ones and also the bigger ones, like developers, to really access this huge talent pool, and this also makes things much easier, not only on the hiring side, because people can stay where they are, where the family is. They don't have to relocate, they have to say goodbye to their environment and family and so on, which is like a very, very big topic, always has been and is still like a big topic. But on top of this is basically they can start more or less immediately, which is like has been always like a big issue. So relocation always takes 2, 3, 6 months, whatever. And finding a flat in Berlin was always the biggest challenge, actually, of this. It's not just the visa process, which unfortunately has changed a lot during these days. No, when it comes to the profile, basically, it's a little bit what you said as well. The person has to fit to what you're looking for, at the end of the day. So it did not really that much change. Just the pool itself has changed. It has widened a lot at the end of the day. Because also like a lot of other companies are forcing people now to come back to the office, that they have to work there. We say, it doesn't matter, it works out very well. They're as productive as before, or even more productive right now. They can focus a lot more on their work. So that's why we say, okay, hey, remote work helped us basically a lot to attract much wider talent.
Really interesting, thank you. Diana, we met, and I met all of you probably just because of networking. Networking is key in our industry. You get your job probably, or you hear that there's an opening when you hear it through your network, so to say. But you network really a lot, so you already mentioned it, you travel around the world, you attend conferences. But do you see any change of the industry is changing, especially by young people? You see new trends, how they network, or what has been changed? Or what would you say?
Not much new. Social media, I mean, that's probably a bigger thing now. Companies turning to TikTok and stuff like that. So that's how the younglings, I guess, get to know companies as well. But it's still the personal interaction that is, I think, still most important. Also, be it online game jams, or in-person game jams, where startups, basically, fresh from out of college or whatever, come together. Or when you're just interested in doing games and try to feel into it. And then later on, it's going to be events. It's going to be local communities, like we have with the Indie Hub, for example, or with, in my case, I'm from NRW. We have NRW devs. We met like once a month before the pandemic. We are trying to get back to that, and sometimes meet online. And that's a really cool way to get together, to see what other people do, what they're looking for as well, and also get to know people and their roles, and talk to them about what these roles entail, and if it's even interesting. Is that the way that you want to go to with your studies? Or is it maybe something that you're like, yeah, it's not really, maybe I should choose a different path? And yeah, and then conferences, especially for students and schools as well. Sometimes they get invited. Volunteering at some point, which is how I also started game jams and volunteering. DevCom, Gamescom, events like Hit Games right now. It's a great way to get to know companies, to get to know people, to go to the after parties or just in between. Sometimes you talk at the toilet because you're just standing next to someone washing your hands and then you just chat people up. It can happen everywhere. And that's the especially good thing at these events.
So kudos to you that you not change it to coffee so you tell the real story, because we all have a toilet story at Gamescom because you wait online and you have to talk to someone.
Yes.
Because we are all networking.
Those queues for water, queues for coffee, and toilet queues are a very good way to talk to people.
So the networking tip is go in queues. Silvia, you already mentioned, and a lot of everyone here on the stage mentioned, so the talent pool isn't that big or that broad for our industry. What challenges you still find, not only that it's maybe a small talent pool, but what challenges you find a challenge, or what challenges your company encounter?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, there are definitely always challenges, I would say, and in my opinion, they can also changing depending on the time that we're living. They're not necessarily always the same. And I will probably reconnect to a lot about what Alexander said before. One thing for me is that right now, let's say the economic climate is not the best. So of course there are some layoffs around, but also we see that people that have a job tend to stay put, let's say, to not wanting necessarily to change jobs right now because they don't feel safe doing it. And another thing is for sure the flexibility post-corona, like what we said before, like we went from an environment of 5 days a week, 9 to 6, to working from home or from wherever you want. So of course it's challenges in the sense that you have to, first of all, attract talent that maybe doesn't want to change a job right now, and on the second end, the other end, offer that kind of flexibility. And I would say that when it comes to the first one, at Wooga, we try during the interviews, of course, to explain to candidates quite well the benefits that we offer and be transparent about the stability of the company right now, so they feel a little bit more empowered and safe, let's say, but also to focus on those kind of people that are actually available on the market, that are part of layoffs and they're actually searching for a new job. And when it comes to the flexibility, Wooga is actually a hybrid company, so it's a little bit different than what we discussed with Alexander before, but for us this works quite well because it's really important for us to have people also coming on site to build that sort of a little bit more, I would say, deeper and more meaningful company culture, I would say. And feel free to interact. I'm very curious about your opinion, Alexander. But just saying that for us that works well, and also we try to have a meaning behind it, not to have just people coming 2 days from the office for the sake of. But for instance, we have one day that is a team day where the entire team comes so that they interact with them. Another day that is a sort of purpose day, that you come still with a purpose. Maybe you have to meet someone else, you have a meeting with someone, an external partner, for instance, so there is a reason why you come to the office, not just because we want you to be there and micromanage you, for instance. And also, of course, there are several incentives to be productive, both at home and from the office. We have the productive budget, for instance, for people to buy everything they need to work from home and have a nice office. But also, of course, from the office, some benefits to engage people more, such as a company breakfast, lunches, a contribution to the BVG ticket, and so on and so forth. So they feel, let's say, supported also with this second one. And yeah, I feel like these are challenges and how we face them.
One more extra question that's not on the cards, I'm so sorry, but we saw massive layoffs around the world. Is these kind of layoffs, maybe it's for you all, it's not even a challenge more for young talents to come across, because you probably could hire someone with more experience, because now the market is a little bit more brain on the market, let's say it is.
You mean that there are more senior people on the market right now?
Yeah, we not only seniors, so we saw that mid-level is getting layoffs and so on and so on. So Is this something you look for? Is this attractive for you guys?
In general, of course, having more people on the market is something, of course, it's never nice to see layoffs, but it's something positive because we can attract more people. I feel that in general, for companies, it's not necessarily a pro to have a lot of young people or junior people on the market because, of course, if you're not hiring a lot, some companies are having layoffs, they're not hiring a lot, maybe they are trying to hire more senior people. Because when you can only hire that many people, you want to have stronger skill set. And of course, this means that it's not a great moment for juniors to find a job, but I encourage them not to get discouraged because this moment is going to pass for sure. And we need those young people and young minds in the industry.
So maybe, Alina, this is a good question for you then. What strategies are particularly successful in the gaming industry regarding recruitment?
Yeah, so I think all the companies are doing pretty much the same things in general, like posting their job posts on different job portals and so on. But something that is related to what Silvia said, I actually have 3 recruitment strategies that I saw them working for us and I think would work for any gaming company. And the first one, I would say, invest in future talents. And invest in hiring interns, working students, trainees. They're the ones that tend to stay longer in the company. And in our company, I can tell you we have not just one, we have a lot of cases that they started their career as working students and then they've been with us now for 4, 5, even 6 years. And it's really fantastic to see them growing with us and seeing them getting into the position that they always dreamed of having. The second one, build a strong employee referral program. I mean, we were talking previously, who knows better what you're actually looking for than your current employees. It's been proven many, many times that a significant percentage of your top performers come from referrals. In our company, actually, if we take only last year, the people that we hired last year, 25% of them came through referrals. So we're doing something good, I'd say. And the last one that I would like to suggest. Jesus, I lost my train of thought. So invest, referral program, and also we're talking about games. I mean, be proud of what you're building. I think for product roles in general, it can be the significant factor that make the change in terms of the candidates accepting the offers that we give to them or going to different companies. I personally love Idle Bank Tycoon, our latest release game. I get so excited whenever I get a chance to talk to my candidates about this game. And it happened not just once, it happened many times that I got emails after a few hours or even after next day telling me, Alina, you were right, the game is fantastic. Now I get even more excited to join Kolibri games and it's really cool. It really makes the difference in this industry.
Yes. Yeah, sure, please.
I fully agree to what you said, basically. It's very important to invest into new talents, into new people. But when I started back then, I made the mistake that I hired a lot of interns because I thought it's awesome to have so many people. They do not cost that much money, so they can make a lot of work, but you cannot build a great company only with interns, unfortunately. But I'm sure you...
I think balance is the key factor here. So make sure that your teams are balanced and you have somebody that can also mentor and support these interns or working students. Next.
So no big business tip here, not using only interns. It was the beginning of the industry. I think we all were interns in one way.
Like the rocket style of building business.
Yes. fake it until you make it. So hope someone buys it. You already mentioned, Alex, that your team is working mostly remote. One key factor is when you have people come in, like hybrid, you can check on them. So if they are right, are they overworked? What is going on? And are they still connected to the project or to the company and whatnot? So how you check on your people and maybe how you keep them motivated, because you only see in the webcam and
True. Yeah, no, definitely. That's basically, I think, the biggest challenge when you are fully remote, right? So how I keep the connection to the people, and also that basically among the people that they are still feeling that they are part of a larger team, especially for new joiners, how they get into the team culture in general. We have an awesome people team who are doing regular check-ins with the team to understand, okay, hey, how are they doing? How is everybody else? How is everybody within the team doing? I think that's super important. Then we do, once a quarter, encourage the teams that they come over to Berlin or to any other place on the world, that they stay there for a week to do like a focus week, where we basically pay the whole transportation, hotel, and so on, some costs. And then what also is super important, that the whole company itself is coming together. We do twice a year like offsite events. This year is the Gran Canaria year. We've been in April in Gran Canaria, and we're going again in December or end of November to Gran Canaria, because we haven't found any place where it's warm in December. Where basically then again, for 4 days in the week, the whole team is coming together for fun activities, but also retros, workshops, presentations, and so on and so on. Also some chakra keynotes from my side that everyone knows, okay, hey, where are we heading to? And this is super important, it's super important for the people that at least, for sure, it's, it's good that people have the flexibility to work whenever they are ready to work. But I think it's also super important that they still feel, okay, hey, what is soft games? What means soft games? What is the company culture in general? That they meet me as a person as well, not just seeing a tile and think, is this guy AI generated or is he real? This is also, I think, very important. And also, from my side, I think for me, it's crucial to understand, okay, who's working within the team, because normally I'm not connected to everyone every day. So it's also for me like an awesome opportunity to meet the team and understand their feelings and issues and so on.
Alina, Silvia, how you manage your team, remote teams, and how you check on them, if you do so, or is it just come into the office and we see if you have all arms and legs?
Yeah, for Kolibri Games, it's pretty much the same as Wooga. We have full flexibility. We embrace the hybrid way of working, so we actually don't force people to come to the office. However, people come to the office because we have a pretty cool office, and the people make the difference. People want to be together to work on the project. Teams can organize team days whenever they want. We try to have at least a team day in a month, once per month. But it's not something mandatory, okay, you need to do it. No, it's whenever they want to do it, and just everybody has the full flexibility of just managing their own team the way they want.
I have a question, because they would ask you some cool side events like Gran Canaria as well.
So this year, no. We went to Austria, to Tyrol last year,
okay.
To an adventure park, and it was pretty awesome. We did rafting, we did bungee jumping some, so it was quite extreme, but safe. No accidents.
Really extreme.
Everybody came to Berlin in one piece.
Silvia, what are you to try to?
Yeah, again, considering we have a hybrid work environment, for us that's less of this issue, because we have, again, 2 days that people come to the office for a purpose, so we can work together. Also, for us, we have different check-ins and team events as well to just build that kind of team atmosphere. But there is no need, let's say, to check in on people. Also, I believe should be that sort of trust, that you trust people to their job and their results speak for themselves. We also have some internal events that promote the company culture for external people. So I already saw 2 people here that were at our last Gamers Night, so I invite everyone to join us for the next one, which is an event for the LGBTQ plus gay community, or gaming community, let's say, with a Y, in the office. And it's a pretty cool one. We play games, we network, we have a recruiting booth, so you can also come to speak to me for a CV review. So yeah.
Oh, we will come to that, what you're looking for at the moment. So, but often we hear company culture, and Diana, you talk to a lot of young people. How important is company culture for young talents? Do they pick and choose their company about it? Do you hear something? That can make a difference?
I think more nowadays, especially because of how we are connected, how close we are basically, and people talk. So if they hear company XY, I don't know if I can recommend that, then it sticks. Of course, they will try to make their own experiences with him, but it can leave a mark. Not only to people you want to hire, but also to players. Like we have a lot, so they, oh no, that company is shit, we don't buy their games. That happens a lot lately. Maybe not as much to actually wipe out a company, but it leaves a mark, and no one wants that, of course. Getting together, people want to feel good in their workday, like in every industry, I think. They want to feel at home, they want to have fun doing their work. I mean, that's an ideal, that you already also have fun working. And I think that's best when you actually feel like home in your company and in your workplace. So that's very important. And I think nowadays people look more for that because we're more open with communicating company culture and also failures to others.
I mean, you mentioned that there are like referrals from people who are already working in the company, but as you just say, like we recently had it, the people applied because they heard good things about the culture at the end of the day, and they say, hey, it's so awesome, I only hear good things, that's why I want to join. It's not only refers within the company, it also refers within the industry at the end of the day. I fully agree.
Sorry, I also want to jump in here if you don't mind, because actually at Wooga we track reasons for application. So we ask people what's their primary reason to apply for Wooga, and actually having a strong culture is one of the main reasons, along with the idea of working on mobile games. So it's actually very important also in my opinion. I completely agree with you too.
I also want to jump in here. And
it's a discussion. I love when you all jump in. It's good.
We're talking about something. Yeah, a company culture is a really good topic, and I think also a sign for a good company culture is we're experiencing it at Kolibri Games now, that even former employees sometimes they want to come back. Or they attend our events. So I think it's a good sign, and it speaks for itself. It's another sign that you have a good company culture if somebody wants to come back.
I think it also Kolibri experience. I've been at an event you held in 2018, I think, or 19. It was awesome. So you got to know the company. So that's also a thing. Like companies meet, people meet. And of other companies as well, and yeah, maybe at some point you work for another company because you I don't know, join forces, or you just go a different path. I had that before, so cool parties at Kolibri.
Thank you.
I don't know about where can I send an application for Gran Canaria? So yeah. Also in our case, we also I work with remote companies mostly, and so I'm a freelancer, and we also do gaming nights and get together, Christmas party gaming nights, and
I always say that basically when I think about like how much money we spend on our office, how much money I can spend basically on for this kind of offsite events. And if you ask people, do you remember 2017 in the office? They were like, huh, what? Did you remember this event there? They're like, yeah, it was awesome. So I think it's much better invested the money than having a huge fancy office, which used to be fancy as well, like because like Google and Facebook and whoever or Meta, they kind of like set the standard over there. But I think these days, as I said, like the pandemic changed this kind of thinking. It's not necessary that you sit in a fancy, awesome, whatever office. I think especially for, let's say, young families, young moms and dads, I'm really happy that I'm at home. And when my wife is not available, I can jump in and just grab my daughter. And continue working, I don't know, 20 minutes later actually, without driving 20 minutes to the street, to the city, going back, and then, no, it's much more, let's say, family friendly as well. It's much more, let's say, also like people who are not so, how to say, like, what is it like called, who are not very open from the character. Yeah, extroverted, we're more introverted. It's much easier for them in this environment to, let's say, they feel much better at the end of the day. And we heard this so often that I say, okay, hey, I think at the end of the day, sure, meeting in person, it's important as well. But like the setup as we do have right now, for us at least, it's working very well.
Some people also need that. So I know a lot of people that, not only in our industry, but also in others, that want to go to the office. They're too distracted at home.
It would be good, interesting.
For others, it works better at home. Like for me, it does work better at home.
I mean, like, I have a question as well, like to you both then actually, because when it comes to young talents, like in the pandemic, we realized that it was, especially for young people, harder because they were alone in their apartments basically. How was your experience? Have they been super happy going back to the offices, or do they say like, oh no, I'm feeling good at home, I don't want to...
I feel it's very different from person to person, to be honest. It's a very subjective thing. We are seeing more and more people coming back from the office these days, so people are more engaged, not only the 2 days a week that we propose to people, but even coming 5 days a week, especially the young talents. Of course, there are also some senior people that come more often, but we see like associates and juniors coming pretty often to even socialize and hang out and learn to more senior people.
I say for us, it's pretty much the same. We also see more and more people coming to the office, especially when there are events. You were saying about events, yes. We also have, we try to be as creative as possible with our events. Our office management team is doing a fantastic job, and actually we have like crochet workshops, or we had pumpkin carving contests, or we had build your own terrarium, dye-tie t-shirts. So it's really creative. Of course, this attracts people. Oh, some people actually painted their sneakers. You should see the pictures. And
like to see.
It's really good. But no, we're doing, so aside from the events, I would say more and more people come to the office because they want to be able to talk to the person. So like sometimes it can be impersonal to just Slack around, like send messages on Slack back and forth, and whereas just, hey, how do I do this? So it's, I would say in terms of attendance, we're above 50% in the office on average.
We also have it in a remote environment, sort of like quickly jumping on a call basically, or actually open channels on Discord where people just sit there and others join. So it's basically like going into the next room and you know, talking to the people, sharing screens, looking at stuff together. That's also nice. And I also had a thought earlier when you spoke of dropping money into an office. I think people prefer not only a fancy office, probably less than an actual good one, like a proper workplace that's also health-wise a good thing. the back pain and all that. So investing in that, I think, makes people also more happy. Also, maybe if you're remote, investing in their workplace at home, So yeah, that's a thing to think about. Not, fancy cushions, but maybe a great table. So, yeah.
I mean, I can answer this. It's the same. Like we're also like offering, let's say, like the budget that they can. I think it's very important, right? So basically, I save money on the rent, basically, but we are investing and giving this money we save to people. So we give internet. We pay mostly for the internet, for electricity, and the budget when they want like a table or a chair or whatever, that they can basically feel at home as they would if they would be at work at the end of the day. I think it's super important at the end of the day.
Especially with whomever had any back pain or whatever, because you had a shade table or chair.
Like sitting at the kitchen table is definitely not what we're looking for, that's for sure.
For a lot of people, it was really that thing, oh no, I have to go to the office. They're sitting hours and hours, in their free time on a PC at home, proper setup, and then you go to work and it's, oh my God. So having proper equipment is very important.
So I have a question for you both, or with Silvia. So you guys working in a bigger company, or you build a big company? Now I have an indie developer background, so our companies we'll be working with are way smaller. What tips you want to give these folks when they're hiring maybe their first employee? So you have all the assessments, you have all the tests and whatnot, probably big teams who look all the applications. So what is maybe an indie tip you can give on what they should do?
I mean, I remember the first hires I did was so I was coming fresh from university. I just did 2 years at Yahoo where I had no responsibility for hiring or so on. So I had no clue at all. Because at university, nobody tells you and teaches you, okay, hey, that's how you do this. At the end of the day, how I did this was I just followed my gut feeling. Is this the person where I believe that he or she is the right one for this position? And I would say, out of 3 cases, 2 times I was right. Just 1 case I was wrong. And that's basically how I still do this for specific other positions where I'm directly involved at the end of the day. And so far, I got lucky. It was doing well. But that would be my tip to an indie. Just trust yourself at the end of the day. And sorry, just one other thing. Sorry. And if it doesn't work out, don't wait too long. That's super important.
Yeah, of course. Never wait too long. Always know how to assess also the people that you hire. I completely understand where you come from, Alexander. With my talent acquisition perspective, I go a little bit on a different direction because, of course, gut feeling is something that is important, especially when you have a small team. However, I also recommend that people invest a bit to understand what they need in a team, in the sense like skill set and soft skills, what kind of culture they want to build, once again, so what kind of values they want to have, and hire accordingly. Especially trying to build very soon a strong HR department with strong structured interviews. So you want to assess for the right skills with the right questions, not to fall into, again, I might think that this guy gut feeling is a good person, but it's only my gut feeling. You want to be sure about the people you're hiring, let's say. So, sorry, let me finish. And this is just like my, let's say, unconscious bias training speaking, maybe. But for me, having that kind of structure, interview structure in the team and having a strong culture behind it is what I would recommend anyone to be able to build a long and stable company for the future.
And Silvia, I totally agree with Silvia. I mean, we're working in recruitment, so we kind of have this mentality. But she was mentioning soft skills. I think especially when you're starting a company now, one of the key soft skills that you should be looking for is flexibility, because like things can change from one day to another. So you need to make sure that somebody won't get scared of any change that might happen, and it won't lead to burnout because some people enjoy having these last-minute changes, and some people just cannot cope with it. Personal advice.
Yeah, especially in the indie team when you have to do kind of everything, to change a lot what you do day to day. Okay, we hear a lot what other people should have, what other people should to the table, what we not discuss. What you have a question? Go on.
I do have something. So with flexibility, right? How do you convey that? Because I heard that from 2-3 people, I don't know what. Oh, flexibility, oh, that's crunch, you know? So I need to do a lot of hours. How do you convey that it's not that without saying it's not crunch?
No, I think, I mean, you need to tell them that, in Germany you cannot do a lot of hours, first of all. But I think when doing interviews, you can also figure it out from the background, and especially if you ask structured interview questions and you ask situational questions, whereas an example would be, tell me about a time when you were working on a project and something changed last minute. What did you do? How did you react? And you can figure it out from the way that they answer to this question, if they're used and if they feel comfortable, because you will, believe me, you will find it out.
Alina, please go on. I had a question. What are you looking for right now? What do you have in your head? And where can people look it up? The whole list now, go.
Okay, so data engineers, UA managers, we are looking for senior tech artists, lead game developer, but we have everything listed on our career website. So just look for kolibrigames.com. That is it. You'll see all the open positions that we have, and plus, if you see that we don't have a role for you now, you can also put in your open application, and when we have the opening that you were always looking for, we'll definitely contact you.
Alexander, when I want to come with you to Gran Canaria, where do I find the application?
You have to wait then for May next year, then actually. It's okay, I know. Yeah, because we booked everything already. No, I mean, what we're looking for, I don't know. We're looking for producers right now. Producers, game analysts, that's basically the main thing, and H5 developers. Yeah, so we're an H5 gaming company, so H5 developers, that's what we're looking for. And then, yeah, or same, if you're having your profile we don't have listed, let us know.
Silvia, do you know out of your head what you're looking for right now?
I should. So we have definitely a player insights manager, a publishing director for new games, an office and facilities manager, QA engineer, live ops product manager, and for sure environment concept artist, and 2 or 3 internship roles actually, product management, community events, and app store optimization.
And last but not least, before we come to Q&A, why you work in this industry? You know, you all here, go to the real world, go to the big IT, make some money. So what makes our industry so important or so nice that you want to be in?
I guess I have a microphone. As a talent acquisition person, I speak to people every day. And speaking to people that are actually passionate about what they're doing is something that keeps me motivated. Of course, it's something that is very nice. And for me, it's also important right now, the kind of company I'm working in when it comes to the product. I work, again, Wooga makes games that are very diverse, very inclusive, with strong female characters, and it's something that keeps me very motivated in the long run.
Yeah, for me, well, first of all, in Romania, they don't teach you that you can go in the gaming industry, although as kids, everybody would love to be in this industry. But honestly, I always dreamed about having a creative role. And I'm doing a creative role with people in a creative industry. And as Silvia said, it's so fascinating and amazing to work with passionate people. And I might sound a bit greedy, but the satisfaction that I get when I see the people that always dreamed of joining this industry coming to, like, finally joining the industry and seeing the product or like what they build is really, like, it's undescribable.
So Diana, why are you here?
Yeah, in the end, basically the same, especially events. Love going to events and seeing people play what you worked on, and then little pieces that you specifically worked on, or finding some Easter egg, you know, that you were like, oh my god, yeah. I love seeing that, actually, and showcasing things to people. And generally, I came from a player perspective. I played for a long time, and then through relations was able to look behind the curtain, and I never wanted to go back. So yeah, it's just fantastic, and we're all a little family kind of. So and I like that.
What you described, I was walking from the business area at Gamescom to the entertainment area with someone from Blizzard, and she was at Blizzard, and she saw the sign, when you stand here, you wait 3 hours, or what it was. It was ridiculous, and with camping stools and whatnot. And she was crying because it was so, oh my God, people really camping here to play our next expansion. It is really, really crazy. How much passion we put in our work. So the gamer and the community as well, play our customers at the end. It is crazy. So Alexander, so you're doing this since 2006. Yeah.
I had another funny one. I'm also a community person. I do a lot of funny stuff. That's also a reason why I work in the industry, because I don't have to get in line for 6 hours to play a game. So we do have our perks in the industry in general. So, yeah.
Sorry, I got a phone call. I have to decline. So, Alexander.
I have to pause. It's fine. It's okay. We will wait for you here. It's not...
So no problem. So
yeah, no. So I have a bit. I was not the big dream to go into the gaming scene, because also in Germany nobody tells you to go to the gaming scene. It was kind of like, what? That for sure. No, basically the reason why I'm doing games is basically my friends. And my friends, we used to be like developers, indie developers back then. They were not called indie developers back then, but now they're called like this. So they had the issue, they created awesome stuff, but back then, so around 2000, 99, 2000-ish, the only way to get audience or find an audience for your game was to put it, or to get the chance to put your game on a CD, which was part of the magazine. GameStar and these kind of things. I'm not sure who remembers that one. And I said, like, no, that's unfair, because they had only like, I don't know, 5 slots or something like this. But there was already like a very vibrant scene, and my mission, so I decided my mission is to help these developers, to help to find their audience. And that's basically what still drives me, that I have like a really talented team around me, and I help them that they can create what they always dreamed about, and I help them that their content is finding the right audience. And that's basically what really drives me every day, that I find, or I make it possible that millions of people are able to play our games, or that they are playing our games. That's basically the story. So not unfortunately like, hey, it was always, but coincidence, I could also say.
yeah, sometimes we end up in careers and then time goes by. So do you guys have questions in the audience? If so, please raise your hand. Someone will maybe come with a mic. So it's not the case. You have a question? Shoot.
Why do you work in this industry?
There was really a coincidence. I was at DEF CON, was invited, and 2 people from Cologne didn't know each other. And you know, I have maybe a loud voice, and I couldn't help back. And there must be some kind of meetup. you need to know each other. And they told me, yeah, Stefan, if you organize it, we will come. And this is how everything started. From then, we called it Indie Game Fest because they want to present their games for a broader audience. Then we did that. And luckily, some girlfriend of mine came up, hey, you can't do this out of your own pocket, let's build a company around it. And we called it Indie Hub, and now I'm sitting here on the stage and don't know what to do. So this is what, I guess, this is the whole story of the Indie Hub, how we started. And it totally coincidence, you know, though. That's life, right? Sometimes you end up in the industry and you fall in love with it. You know, I've never seen an industry. It's so open. You can mostly be who you are. You not really get judged right on the moment. Not on your looks. You know, we sit here not how we want to impress ourselves, and not what the industry is talking about, what we have to wear. So this is just one small thing. And it's okay in our event to love the parties and talk to people. This is really, really great. So I think we have a really, really good industry. Yeah. So we
all agree.
Yeah, we all, I guess, yes. So that's our panel. Thank you so much, Silvia, Alina, Alexander, and especially Diana for stepping in. If you have questions, you will probably find them on LinkedIn and especially on their websites according to their companies. And you heard it here first. Great parties, Gran Canaria, great side events. So if you need a reason to work there, please go. Thank you so much. See you.